Hello, and welcome to the Significant Weather Observation Program Fall 2013 Presentation Series, Part 2. In our previous presentation, we discussed some severe weather parameters we'd like to see reported to us here at the National Weather Service. In this particular presentation, we're going to switch gears to winter, and in particular, snowfall. In the picture shown on the slide, you see a shot of some very heavy snowfall that we received back on March 25th, 2013. And as far as measuring snow, it can be done with a National Weather Service snow stick. What this is a basic ruler marked off in tenths of an inch. If you don't have a snow stick from the Weather Service, you can also use a yardstick, a ruler, or even a tape measure. So how do you accurately measure snowfall in central Illinois? Let's discuss some techniques and talk about some basic do's and don'ts. The first thing you'll need to do is find a representative location to measure snowfall. The first step would be to select a flat, grassy area well away from obstructions. You don't want to be too close to your house or too close to trees or any other obstructions. It needs to be a nice open spot such as we see in the picture. You might want to use a snowboard. What a snowboard is a 24 by 16 inch piece of plywood that's been painted white. This is a flat surface that can be useful to measure snowfall. It's painted white so that the sunlight hitting the surface will reflect off of it, and that minimizes the effect of melting as the snow falls onto the board. If you don't have a snowboard, you can measure directly on a grassy surface. One thing to keep in mind when you're measuring on grass is the actual length of the grass. If you've not mowed your yard late in the fall and you've got some rather tall grass, you need to take that into account when you're measuring snow on that grassy surface. When measuring on grass, you should take at least 5 measurements in a representative area and use the average of these as your official total. Oftentimes, in this part of the country, we have a lot of wind associated with snowstorms, so there will be blowing and drifting. Try to avoid areas where it's obviously drifted. Pick out locations that seem representative and use an average. Now for a few do's and don'ts. Don't measure on a gravel or asphalt surface. While the driveway above looks like a perfect spot to get a good measurement, since it's so flat and conveniently located right outside the house, it's not a good spot to measure snow. The dark color will act to absorb sunlight and absorb heat. So when snow begins to fall on this surface, it very well may melt initially before beginning to accumulate. Therefore, you'll get an erroneously low number. So avoid measuring on your driveway gravel surface. Also, don't measure near trees or your house. A lot of the times there can be drifting effects around large structures such as homes and garages, and obviously under trees those could block the falling snow as well. So you need to be in an open area away from obstructions such as houses and trees. Also, don't measure on your deck. Again, this seems to be a nice flat location and very convenient right outside the back door, but Wind blowing over the top of the house or around the house could lead to considerable blowing and drifting on your deck, so again, you probably won't get an accurate measure there. Do provide intermediate measurements during the snowfall. It's very helpful to National Weather Service forecasters to receive an update on how much snow is occurring at your location. We would ask for intermediate snowfall reports, usually no more than once every 3 to 6 hours. And also do provide a final total after the event has concluded. So with snowfall, obviously measuring snowfall is very challenging. We face a lot of obstacles in getting an accurate measure, including strong winds, mixed precipitation types, etc. So it is very difficult to measure snowfall. The best bet is to follow the tips in this presentation and use your best judgment. If you do have any questions, please feel free to email us at any time. And that concludes today's presentation on snowfall. We will be providing additional presentations, including a live demonstration on selecting a proper location. And when winter comes around and we get our first snowfall, we'll also have a live presentation on how we, here at the National Weather Service, measure snowfall in wintertime. Thank you very much for viewing this presentation.